Good day, grade 8. So today's lesson will be from page 86 to 90. So there is a PowerPoint which I'm going to share, and you could also have your books ready for a bit later on. So for now, I just need you to listen. So today's lesson, we'll look at water resources, we'll look at straits and canals and what they're all about. So today's lesson is basically about water. And here we see that water is the basic element of life. The basic element meaning it is the underlying foundation of life. Without water, it says there, living things won't or can't survive without water. Where can water be derived from? Water can be derived from many resources. Means derived there means it can be taken from many resources. It also states here that man can benefit from water resources. And a bit later, we will also look at how man benefits from water resources. And here it also says that the need for water is increasing. So people are needing more water every day. And why? Because of a growing population. Because the more people that there is on planet Earth, the more water we'll need. So now we are running short. Let's look at sources of water. Sources of water, precipitation. Precipitation means rainfall and snow. So the main source of fresh water on Earth is by rainfall. That is where we get the most fresh water from. Fresh water can be obtained by desalination. What is desalination? It is the removal of salt from seawater. And in this picture here, we see desalination tanks that does that procedure for companies and for us. Okay, so the main source of water is from precipitation. And here we have learned now what desalination is. What is fresh water important for? Now, some of us, we might not think about this every day, but the importance of water is, it is so crucial, it is vital to our survival. Agriculture. So if there wasn't fresh water, there would be no farming. We need it for agriculture, we need it for crops, we need it for food, for plants, the animals need it, the cycle of life needs water. Industry, fresh water is also needed for business. It is needed for household. So without industry and without having a business, without having industry or business, we wouldn't be able to make money to support our household. Our household is our homes. We need water, we need fresh water to cook. We need fresh water to wash ourselves, okay? And for the environment, we need fresh water for the plants and for the earth that gives us oxygen. So here's some basic importances of fresh water. It provides us with drinking water. Fresh water is the basis of all life, because we use it to grow our crops for food. Fresh water also helps keep the earth cool by regulating the temperature. And it provides several sources of energy, one in particular being hydroelectric power through the use of dams and turbines. So fresh water is extremely important for our survival. If we move on, reasons why water resources are being reduced rapidly. Now rapidly here means quickly, and reduced means why are our water resources being minimized or made less so quickly? As explained earlier, due to the increase in population. So the more people there is, the higher the demand for water. Climate change. You look at global warming and there hardly being any rain on Earth. It shows us that a lot of evaporation takes place because of this. The depletion of aquifers. What are aquifers? They are reservoirs where people go and look for water underground. So they take more than what is expected. And if we look in the picture, we see pollution. So these are some of the main reasons why our water resources are being reduced so rapidly. And if we look at increase in population, that's due to human nature's fault. Climate change, we contribute to climate change because of pollution. Depletion of aquifers, that's the humans that's doing that, and the pollution. We are the only ones that's responsible for our reduced water resources. Let's move on. And then we see straits and canals. What is a strait? A strait is a natural passageway between two bodies of land. And there we see a picture of a strait. People have created artificial straits called canals because of the great help they offer. Okay, so you could also go and do some research on that. I need us now to move on a bit to these questions over here. And you will see that the text that helps us to answer these questions are from page 86 to 90. So here we see, what are water resources? If we go to the first page, I'm not going to answer everything for you, but I am going to guide you as to where to find these answers in the exercise. So the first question asks us, what are water resources? Okay, so we'll go back there and we'll see in this picture, or in your book on page 86, we'll try to look for our answer. Here we go. You will find it in this paragraph. It tells us what a water resource is for question 1. Let's move on to question 2. Number 2, how is water distributed on Earth? Let's move back there. Okay, so if we look through the next paragraph, we'll see water resources are divided into 2 main categories. Okay, distribution of water on Earth. So here, around here, that's a bit of a higher order question. There you really have to analyze the information, okay, and try and summarize it as short as possible to look for the main points of how water on Earth is distributed. Distributed means how it is given out, how it is shared out on Earth. How is water distributed? What is the Earth's water? What is the fresh water? And we also have, we can see at the bottom there, another category. If we move on to the next question, so I would just like to erase that. Number 3 says, name 2 major sources of fresh water. Sources means 2 major places that we can get fresh water from. And if we look here, you will find that here on this page, on page 87. Am I correct? Yes, I think it is. Well, let's go back. See the page numbers? Yes, on page 87, which is the next page, you will find here what are the 2 main sources of fresh water. Where does fresh water come from? There are 2 things. We discussed it earlier, precipitation and desalination. I need you to also write that answer using full sentences, please. Not just that, so that I can see that you have an understanding. If we move on to the next question, which is question 4, it says agriculture, industry, household, and environment depend on the element of fresh water. Discuss one of them in relation to such a resource. So I'd like you to take one of those, either agriculture, either industry, either household or environment, and tell us how each, or how one of those categories, how they utilize, how they use fresh water. And the very last question, by exercise 5, there are many reasons why water resources have been reduced. Discuss one. Okay, so you need to explain one. Discuss means you need to explain it. And if we go over here, we see here, as in the PowerPoint, it gives us more detail of why water resources are being reduced. Right, so that you need to complete, please, in the PowerPoint, this page, which is in your book, and I have guided you as to how and where to find the answers to this exercise.